To feed or not to feed? That is the question. Coming up here on Fish Buddy. Alright, so there's a hotly debated topic usually going around on the Facebooks talking about to feed live feeders or not to feed live feeders. So, should you feed live feeders? I guess you should ask yourself if you can feed a living thing to another living thing and be okay with that. That's the biggest thing I would ask myself, if that's your concern. So you probably can if you're watching this. So now that we're past the morality issue, we can get down to business. So I'm going to start with some facts. Now stay with me, and these are just facts. My opinions are going to be shared here shortly, but I do want to lay out some facts about feeder fish first. So first off, feeder fish are often riddled with parasites and disease. Another thing is that feeder fish are often underfed and they're often fed a poor diet. So being underfed on a poor diet is going to lead to a poor nutritional value whenever you feed it to your fish. Another fun fact is that minnows and goldfish, and there are a few others, they contain thiaminase. That's actually an enzyme that blocks the B1 vitamin, which is a very important vitamin for your fish to have. And catfish typically make poor feeders as well due to the fact that they typically have spines that could get caught on your fish. Another fact is that fish may hurt themselves on decoration while chasing after a feeder. Alright, so while I'm not against live feedings, I have a few recommendations on how I go about it. My number one rule is that no minnows or goldfish. So I like to use guppies and mollies for small fish, and I like to use convicts for my piranhas. Convicts would work well for other large predatory fish as well. Also, I like to breed them in a colony, because then you only have to quarantine your initial stock. After that point, and they've passed quarantine and they've started breeding, all of your fish from that point on should be clean, as long as you keep your water parameters clean and don't introduce any new fish. Again, that's just my opinion and my methods. Another thing that I like to do is feed all of my feeders a very high quality diet, meaty foods, fresh frozen foods, or whatever. The better food you feed the feeder fish, the better feeders they're going to be for your feeder fish, for the fish they're being fed to. And that fish is really going to get some nice benefits from it at that point. Also, if there's a specific food that you would like for your fish to eat that you can gut load a feeder with, you can gut load those feeders with something, maybe some zucchini or romaine lettuce or something like that, or whatever it is, something, and then you throw them in with a belly full of veggies. Then whenever the fish that's going to eat them eats them, they get a belly full of veggies as well. And my last tip for feeding feeder fish is that they should really be offered as a treat. You don't really want to get your predatory fish only eating feeder fish. Again, that's just my opinions. These are my opinions. So feeders aren't necessary, and there are alternatives or pre-killed and safe feeders that will be disease-free. So those are my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think on feeder fish. Should you feed? Should you not feed? Are you against it? And why are you against it? So comment below what feeder fish you feed. Like I said, I use guppies, mollies, and convicts. So what are you feeding?